listening to Positive Vibes with Shane Nicolich, making positivity and gratitude louder in a podcast world. Positive Vibes with Shane Nicolich. Good morning and welcome to Positive Vibes, making positivity and gratitude louder in a podcast world with Shane Nicolich, me. This morning I don't have I don't have a guest, so I really should, if I don't have a guest, I really should get on the ball and have prepared topics or talks to talk about. But I've just been busy or didn't prioritize my time correctly, and don't have anything like that prepared. But I do have my copy of the Motivation Manifesto handy. I should have grabbed my book out of the car and read some of that, but we talked about some of that anyway. But yeah, I'm going to go to the old standby and just read, since this book is so motivational, the Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard, I'm going to read a portion of Declaration 1. I'm going to cut the show short today because I have some education on programs and working on my show. And so, anyway, I'll just dive right in, I guess, after I get my coffee so I can get a drink of that. Just a moment. All right, let's see here. Declaration 1, and this is of the 9 declarations to claim your personal power. Declaration 1, we shall meet life with full presence and power. Your true home is in the here and the now. And that's a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm not sure about the exact pronunciation. I'm not trying to chop it up too much. I don't want to anyway, but I think that's how it's pronounced. An affliction is stealing joy from the world's people, poisoning what was meant to be a divinely inspired experience of freedom. It is a haunting absence from the present moment. Too many have checked out of their bodies and their lives. They are not attuned to the energy and circumstances around them, nor do they understand their responsibilities to those things in this very moment. They have little awe or reverence for the blessings around them, acting as if they preferred to be somewhere else, as if they were mentally living in distant time zones, hours behind or ahead of the joyous tick and bliss of now. Their life force thus seems detached and dissipated, their lives unaccounted for and unlived, their souls a world away. The majority of humanity seems lost in the abyss of unawareness. The hollow and glazed eyes of so many reveal it all. Minds trapped in the dark, unfeeling hinterlands of distraction and thoughtlessness. They are not sleeping, but they are not conscious, alert, purposeful. They are buzzed out on coffee, but without awareness, there is no real center of energy, no grounding, no vibrant feel for the now. Life is not meant to be a long series of unfelt and undirected experiences. We are not to be zombies and slaves, unconscious animals trapped in dumbness to the moment, leading mindless and powerless lives. We are not intended to be inattentive to our loved ones and the duties of life or the dreams in our hearts. Should we wish to be free and alive with full power, we must decide to bring the full might of our conscious mind to the present experience. We must choose to feel again. We must sense this life. Let us remember that all that we love of life can be accessed only now. All we seek is here, with us and available to us in this moment. All the real riches, love, passion, joy, satisfaction, harmony, are available now on the menu of the mind, available for us to savor, should we awake and order them. All that we seek to become is also here. We can choose what role we want to play and how we will direct life's energies in each moment. Should we learn to direct our awareness and power in all we do, then discontent shall disappear and a vital energy will return. We will sense a vibrancy unfathomable to most men and women of this earth. For this, let us declare, we shall meet life with full presence and power. The half-experienced life. So much of our lives goes unnoticed. We miss the sunrises and sunsets. We don't sense how we're feeling for hours and often days at a time. We didn't see the kind stranger help the elderly man cross the street. We missed that appreciative smile on our spouse's face. We did not sense our coworker's desperation because we never paused to look her in the eye or ask her about her day. Locked indoors and hidden behind machines, we missed the entire season. The winter passed and we didn't play in the snow. The spring bloomed and we overlooked the flowers. The summer and the fall passed so quickly, and we don't even remember the trees changing or feel satisfied with the time we spent outside. Each day there are a million divine wonders, acts of human kindness, and beautiful sights. Yet we are too checked out or busy thinking about yesterday or tomorrow to even sense the magic. We mustn't be so numbed or absent-minded as to allow ourselves to suffer the fate and misery of those choosing a half-interested, half-engaged life. We mustn't stay oblivious to the key moments and circumstances of our lives. There is more pulse and beauty and meaning to be had. With enlightenment comes the realization that the natural foe to life is not a distant death, but a detachment from living. Reality is only here, now, and we must learn to face it, feel it, and form it. The present is all there is. Motivation and life itself cannot be sensed separate from now. Without bringing our full consciousness to the moment, we became slave to impulse or tired inclination, subservient to our base conditioning that tends to lean toward ease and fear rather than growth and freedom. From this space of disengagement emerges all that we disdain: the barely present parent, the half-hearted lover, the unfocused student, the absent leader. It is time to become more alert and engaged in the world. As the next moments of our lives unfold, we can choose to pay more attention to how we feel, to how others feel, and to the blessings all around. We can give others the full beam of our focus and attention, focus and affection. We can open our hearts, minds, and spirits to what the universe whispers to us. We can choose once more to be in this very moment, open and free, alive. Our only enemy in this effort is ourselves. To gain greater presence, we will need to overcome our habit of living in the past or future. and we will need to become more aware of the roles and responsibilities we can choose each and every moment as free, conscious, and motivated people. Ripped from time. The reason most of us lack vitality is that we are unconsciously or obsessively directing our minds to the past or future at the expense of fully living now. Life cannot be sensed a day before or a day ahead. We must learn to release our habits of nostalgia and absurd projection and re-enter our lives in the moment. We begin by releasing the past. There is very little use in thinking about yesterday or the days before it, unless recounting its joys or looking for its lessons that may help us now. It is best to release the past entirely. All else comes at a dire effect to our joy and freedom in the moment. This work is difficult. Most people have become addicted to obsessing about their past, either wishing for its return or blaming it for frustration in their lives today. The cost is that they cannot be spontaneous. They are acting from an identity that is but a glorified or terrorized mental reflection. Spontaneity is the hallmark of a free person, and no person stuck thinking about yesterday, positively or negatively, can be truly liberated in the moment. Some will say, but I liked yesterday more than today. I'd rather focus on the glory days and remember who I was than face who I am today. This is the statement of a person who has resigned their personal power. They have become a collection of walking memories rather than a mission-driven human. They are now weak-willed and unambitious, wasted in a perpetual memory that prevents their real life from progressing. Life will continue to be a reminiscent myth unless they discover that their only path out of their past lies in the very day before them. What will bring motivation and glory to their lives once more is a new mental discipline of bringing their focus back to the moment in being authentic and active today. Without such conscious ambition and attention, only a negative circumstance can right them. A catastrophe or severe need might pop them from their past and help them refocus on now. We should hope such jarring will be unnecessary and they will simply choose to re-engage with their current life because it will make them happy and alive once more. If we revisit the past for brief and joyous recollections, let us be sure to take note of what exactly made us happy. We will see that happiness came from those moments in which we were vitally aware. Something was happening, and we noticed it with awe or appreciation. There was beauty, surprise, pleasure, passion, fun, love, and peace, perhaps all of these within a glorious span of moments. The world came into sharp focus for an instant. Meaningless things faded away, and meaningful things enlarged and drew our eye. There was authenticity and freshness to the experience. There was oneness with the moment. We became alert and connected to something positive, and that is why we can so easily recall it. Good memories can be celebrated, but let us not forget that, even in the house of happiness, a positive past can become an unwanted guest, preventing us from the day's activities and freedom. Even though we have these positive associations, let us not drift too long in our minds at the cost of missing those very things that are accessible to us right here and now. What made us happy was awareness of the moment. Let us not forget that. Let us use this knowledge as a life practice and come back to now with full vibrancy. Others think of the past and say, "But I hate the past. It is the cause of all my problems today." They direct obsessive energies to looking backward with a sneer and a pointed finger. They would rather not think of the past, and yet they do, because they have mentally tied the thick rope of resentment around old situations. Despite time and the changing world, they are still bitter about an old upset, frightful of an old fear, victim to an old situation. They are now the angry person, the whining victim, or the regretful philosopher. It is very easy to become one of these people because our past has shaped us so much, but we must not. Any dirt or carnage of yesterday belongs nowhere near now, but rather in the dustbin of history, where we need not rummage about. Dwelling on past injuries only leaves us dispirited and torn from the moment. If yesterday's hardships are stealing our aliveness today, then we must seek another level of consciousness. For some, this will require therapy to work through. For most, it will at the very least require diligence in immediately releasing negative thoughts and instead choosing to ask, what can I focus on in my life at this exact moment to sense some peace, appreciation, or enthusiasm? What kind of person and what kind of experience do I want to choose to manifest right now? To those who have such presence of mind belong a life that is connected, real, and positive. Forgetting tomorrow. Many people are checked out of today because they are thinking about tomorrow. For some, there is a secret fear that tomorrow will be worse than today. They lie awake, stewing on the hardships that tomorrow might bring. Their fears about the future rip them from the blessings of the moment. Others are concerned that tomorrow won't be worse, but rather no different at all. They think, why can't my life be more exciting? Tomorrow is just going to be another day, another dollar, just another replay of the same old routine. The sad reality is that unless they learn to grip their present experience with a renewed fervor, they are correct. Still others look to the future in a different way. They are the daydreamers lost in positive musings about what is possible for them. They often sit at their desk and let their minds drift into visions of tomorrow, and nothing brings them back but a phone call or knock at the door. Tragically, their feet rarely land in now. They are always wishing on a star, but not working here on earth to enjoy their experience or progress their lives. Just like with the past, there is nothing wrong with journeying into the future if it brings joy or instruction. But that journey must be brief and never come at the expense of owning the hour. Plan and dream when those things are called for, yes, but don't disconnect from the magic and tasks and people at hand. A better future can be imagined for segments of time, but it is only in this time that a better future can be built. Regardless of their memories or dreams for tomorrow, the masters of this life are always bringing their focus back to this very moment. They live serenely in the now, benefiting from yesterday without yearning for it, hopeful for tomorrow but not obsessing over it. They are vigilant in directing their attentions and affections to their immediate circumstances and people surrounding them. They frequently ask themselves, is my mind alert now? Am I noticing and fully sensing what is around me and taking it all in? Am I feeling this life? Am I directing my full power to what is in front of me and what matters? Avoiding reality. Some among us haven't the strength to ask such questions, preferring the easy escape from life that is avoidance. They prefer to turn away from the responsibilities or circumstances right in front of them. They remove themselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually from now. Since engaging would involve hardship and unflinching self-examination. This is the man who avoids listening to his wife's requests because it will require him to remove himself from the couch. The leader who avoids the meeting because she would have to face the fact her business is failing. The student who goes out on the town rather than completing a difficult assignment. The man with the medical condition who refuses to go to the hospital because it might mean something is very wrong with his body and death is drawing near. To the immature or unconscious person, it feels sane to avoid the hardships that life thrusts at them. It makes sense to remove their attention from circumstances that bring discomfort. It's easier to stop doing the hard task right in front of them, to disperse their attention onto multiple easier tasks. It is tempting to check out, to run and hide, but in doing so, we avoid life itself. The casualty is our own presence and power. When we lack the courage or discipline to address what we must, our presence is never wielded and honed, and so life becomes devoid of feeling and happiness. Avoidance may be the best short-term strategy to avoid pain and conflict, but it is also the best long-term strategy to ensure suffering. All things must be dealt with, and now is the time to begin. If a difficult conversation awaits with one spouse, then the conversation should be had this day. If the business is in peril, then do not go on vacation or miss the meeting. Get to work fixing the issue at hand. If the paper is due, begin writing. If the body is sick, go to the doctor. Any other action is avoidance, and where there is avoidance, there can ultimately be no peace or progress. Free and motivated people do not neglect reality. They meet difficulty with attention, seeing these as opportunities to test their faith, strength, and love. Knowing that life is full of strife, but trusting themselves and their path, they seek to handle whatever life demands of them directly and swiftly. Through practice, they learn to find comfort in the uncomfortable and true mastery in life. We can learn from them. Let us never look hardship in the face and run. To do so is to tear ourselves from this world and this time, and to relinquish our growth and contributions in life. Let us always remember that in addressing our pain and fear, we gain mastery over them. In meeting challenge rather than avoiding it, we find success. In meeting fate's well-placed opportunities for growth, we become favored. And so let us ask ourselves, what should I finally face in my life? What truths or realities are preventing my growth and happiness? What could I do about it right now? How can I better connect with this moment so that I can master what the hour demands of me? Inattention to our roles. Being fully present in life not only means being observant and unfailing in addressing our realities, but also deciding to proactively choose our roles and behaviors each day. In any given moment, we can play one or a combination of 5 vital roles. Inattention to these possible roles leads to a life without intention, but bringing our awareness to them helps us activate our full personal power in each moment. It brings purpose to our minds and activities, and purpose is the greatest bridge to now. Observer. The first role we can play in our lives is observer, or the conscious viewer. This is the role and responsibility we are charged with through the gift of self-awareness. As observer, we can float above our reality and view the totality of who we are in life and the minutiae of who we are acting and reacting in this very moment. It is not, or in the very moment, it is not a detachment from ourselves or the moment, but rather a careful observance of it. Those who have mastered this role can make a decision and almost simultaneously evaluate whether or not it is the right decision. They can sense themselves doing, feeling, and thinking things and know if those things are authentic. They notice when they are making poor decisions, being rude to others, forgetting something important. They are vitally aware of themselves. They can sense a conflict brewing and feel their anger lifting, yet choose not to act on that anger. It is as though they have an internal dialogue. Oh, I see that I am becoming upset about this situation. Why am I reacting in this way right now? Will anger serve me in this moment? If I were responding as my highest self, what would I say and do right now? We can learn to master this role by practicing self-examination. Several times throughout the day, we can ask ourselves, if I stopped and hovered above my life, what do I see myself doing? And why do I think I am doing that? Why am I feeling what I am feeling right now? What result will happen from my current actions and intentions? What is it I can sense that my What is it I can sense that my mind, body, and spirit truly feel and need and desire right now? When we grasp this idea of sensing ourselves, we become more connected to ourselves and our lives. This must be our goal. Director. The second role is a more proactive role as director, the conscious and intentional creator of our lives. If we can imagine life as a movie, then we can imagine ourselves as the one directing each scene and character within it. The director calls all the shots and is the ultimate planner and authority on what each character is doing, why they're doing it, and what they are going to do next. The director chooses where to focus the camera in each second of filming. The director makes well-reasoned choices about the characters in order to shape a compelling and meaningful story. From this simple metaphor, we can draw much wisdom for improving our lives. Those who are unhappy with the current story of their life are those who have not been directing its scenes and characters. They lacked a plan for their story. They wandered in and out of situations in their lives without any real intent. They focused on the wrong things, often zooming in on the negative aspects of life while missing the beautiful or interesting. They let the wrong characters enter the important scenes. They rarely stepped back from the frame to see the big picture. They let themselves respond to situations not as noble and heroic character, but as a whiny child screeching across the stage of life. Mastering the role of the director requires us to be detailed in our intentions for each scene in our story. If we are going out on a date with our spouse this evening, how do we want the scene to unfold? What kind of person do we want to be at the dinner table? How will we appear and what will we sound like? How will we respond to her descriptions of her day? What surprises will keep the scene fresh? How might the entire evening be a romantic love affair captured through our own eyes? Where is this story with this person going to go? Playing the director of our own movie gives us the ability to choose our entire character and life's arc. Will our character be strong or weak? noble or selfish, stressed or peaceful, flighty or grounded? Will each of our days say something about who we are? And if so, what? What will we demonstrate and become in the next scene of our lives? These are important questions. If we do not ask them, we fail to focus on the story of our lives and thus become lost within it. Worse, we become bit players in other people's stories, casualties of the larger mass narrative that is a boring tale of conformity. So let us be more conscious. What shall our life story be? And how can we direct our thoughts and actions to make that vision a reality? Guardian. The third role deserving our attention is that of guardian to our mind, body, and soul. We must stand at the gates of our life and protect ourselves from unwanted contaminants, negative information, people, and habits. How often we fail in this role. We let such useless information, tripe, and stupidity into our minds. We dumbly consume words, images, and sounds from salacious sources that masquerade their alerts and offers as somehow relevant to our lives. This is the news media that pretends some ignorant and extremist view might enlighten us. The network that says the reality of a few entitled brats being filmed without filter might entertain us. The webpage that cons us into thinking we are miserable without their product. From all this, we do not grow wiser, but less informed. Not entertained, but numbed. Not wealthier, but poorer. Everything we consume becomes a part of us. All the useless factoids and scandals do nothing but take root in our psyche and emerge as stupidity and drama later on. Seeing people being petty on television a million times makes us pettier. As a guardian of our mind, we mustn't allow the trite and negative to enter so easily. We should be conscious of the information entering our minds. If we set out to learn something, let us be purposeful about the source, seeking to feed our brain with positive, empowering information that moves our lives forward. If we want to be entertained, let us choose the form of entertainment that would truly enliven us, that would bring a depth of understanding or appreciation into our lives. In all cases, let us remain at our post as the protector of a healthy and vital mind. What we see and hear and allow into our brains shapes our personality and our destiny. We must also be guardians of our bodies. The plight of those in abundance cultures brimming with fake food is that convenience thwarts common sense. Rather than choosing food that is real, whole, and good for us, we choose what is fast and sweet. As a society, we have become not guardians but gorgers, stuffing and poisoning ourselves, mindlessly toxifying the very structure that houses our heart and soul. Most people would feel guilty for destroying someone else's property, yet they wreck the very temple their Creator gifted them. It is time we protect our health by paying more attention to what we are putting in our mouths. There is no lack of information on how to choose a healthier diet or live a healthier lifestyle. Eat smaller portions. Make a plate of mostly whole foods and greens. Limit consumption of processed food or anything with unpronounceable ingredients. Stop eating so much sugar. Move more. And exercise several times per week to maintain a healthy, strong body. Drink more water and get more sleep. None of this is new information. What is required is a new commitment to caring for our bodies. If we let the energy of our body fade, our motivation soon goes with it. Let us be equally vigilant in evaluating the people we let into our lives. Are we allowing tyrants, jackals, and jerks to contaminate our environment? Who are the negative people poisoning our potential, and why are they in our space? Are we constantly allowing ourselves to be hurt? Are we surrounding ourselves by whiners and haters? To one and all, they must go. And we mustn't hope that they will go. They will loiter as long as we allow. It is up to us to be fierce guardians of our happiness and humanity and life. This often requires direct communication to tell others to leave, to adjust their attitude, to be kinder and more supportive. It requires being more assertive and demanding. No one likes to do this kind of work. But we must protect ourselves from sour humans. By the same token, we must surround ourselves with positive, kind, and inspiring people. We can choose to call to them from the gates of our lives, inviting them into our circles and homes, asking them to share their insights and lives with us. Warrior. The next role is the warrior. Should we sit in our homes and find life wanting, then we must stand and venture out to fight purposefully for something more. We must be bold, fierce, and unrelenting in chasing our dreams. We must push aside our fears, struggle with conviction, battle through all obstacles. We must want to win, to bring back treasures and glory to our homes, to leave nothing on the battlefields of life but the legend of our courage and might. We will have made nothing of ourselves or created anything significant unless we prepare for the long and arduous journey to mastery. What skills must we have to win our next battles? Let us acquire them now. What tools and resources will we need? Let us ready them now. Who will we need to march with us so that we can have camaraderie and support in taking the next mountain? Let us seek to meet and enlist them now. What must we sacrifice in order to ascend even higher? Let us sacrifice it now before it weighs us down on the journey. Owning the role of warrior requires us to take stock of all the things we are deeply committed to in life. The warrior asks, what will I stand for in life? How will I bring honor and abundance to my loved ones? What adventures will make me feel alive? What do I want, and how hard am I prepared to fight for it? This matter of hard work reveals whether we are the cowards or warriors of this world. Perhaps it is time we step back from all our busy work and think again about our greater dreams and glory. Let us be honest and brave in assessing our lives, asking, how hard am I really working toward my dream? Am I letting little obstacles stop my progress, or am I battling through them on a consistent basis? Am I doing what I must to prepare my mind, body, and soul for victory? Am I acting with real conviction and commitment in life, or simply trudging through? Have I struggled to succeed in any area of my life because I failed to sacrifice or commit? If we have real dreams, then we must fight for them. For the sake of our soul and our families, we must adopt that warrior spirit that is hungry, ambitious, and courageous. The essence of the warrior spirit is readiness, a bias toward action. Warriors do not waste time in making decisions. There is little hesitation, hemming, hawing, or hedging. Warriors do not await perfect circumstances to begin the long march to victory. They do not stop when tired or frightened. They do not shy away from a needed fight, and they do not apologize for boldness or strength. And with that, I'm gonna stop right there for today's show. I need to go. I didn't realize time was that short, but I need to go right now and learn some stuff about producing my show here. And anyway, I guess that's about it. And I just want to remind everyone to stay kind, optimistic, and grateful, And I want you to make sure you have a phenomenal day. Even if you've already made up your mind, that today sort of sucks or is not phenomenal, make it phenomenal. Do something phenomenal, just do something great. Be great. And have a phenomenal day. All right, well, thanks for joining me, and that's about it. I'm out. Later.